So hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we're starting the meeting and associated recording. And basically, what we were about to investigate if we can propagate the secrets to Route 53, not dependent on any cloud provider integration, right? So, and if you look at this external DNS thing, so that's how we templated, and we templated it according to, sorry, I'm not sharing the screen, right?
Oh, you're not. You're not.
Yeah. So too many Zoom buttons. I cannot press more than one successfully. So, so yeah, I'm sharing now like this external DNS thing. So we templating it according to the HDNS provider, right? And so what we are doing here, it just reminds me that, let me start with the most fresh stuff that I was looking at a while ago, right? And it is Cloudflare. It is Cloudflare, and what we did there. Let's actually open Cloudflare PR and the early merged one and see what's happening. I'm pretty sure I was adding kind of secret that this was symmetric to, yeah, so you see like, secret key ref. So I intentionally like made it just by a convention, right? So like, Cloudflare token, whenever we need to relax it, we'll relax it. But currently, it's just referencing the the secret with a specific expected name of Cloudflare, right? And I think I did it in a symmetric manner as we did it before. So let me check the thing and let's just maybe search for secret key refs, right? And yeah, so these are charm templates, secret key ref. Info blocks is there. Okay, info blocks is there. And that's the only ones, looks like, or not. Let's check the helpers. Secret key ref. NS1 is there. RFC is there. Cloudflare is there. So basically it looks like you are correct with the statement that we don't have anything like that for cloud providers that that are providing the native integration, right? Because we kind of historically relied on it.
Yeah,
assume,
for AWS is the IRSA thing.
Yeah. So assume if we add a similar capability to reference secret, it will solve the problem, right?
Yeah. I have some changes locally that I haven't committed. I can show you what I did here. It's not adding any parameters to external DNS, but it's pretty similar to what we were showing. Am I sharing?
Yep.
Yeah, so these are basically the uncommitted changes I have locally. And this is like also documented way on external DNS, how to use external secret stories or credentials stored in a secret. So what I did here is basically, if this is populated, then add it to external DNS deployment. Okay. So it will mount it to that pod and take it from there. But it also requires some pre-work to create that secret, right? So I would just add this is a small thing, like if user creates the secret upfront in the cluster, then we need to have a way to reference it, right? That's what I did here.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's cool.
creating it from Helm chart isn't probably a good idea. Because
Yeah.
it contains some secret
Yeah, totally.
information.
I think in all the guides that are relying on the secrets, we have just a step for the secret recreation, right? So, and I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty common everywhere for that for any kind of deployment that is based on Kubernetes secret availability. Yeah. So that yeah, that's cool. So and why we so
Yeah, I
again
think I also
trying to
added
recall.
some because before it has some magic values, right? That needs to be
Uh-huh.
populated in Helm chart.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was like trying to basically replicate the setup and found out that there are like commands that
yeah.
can be
Right.
used for populating
Right.
those fields.
Yeah, now I recall the flow. Yeah, yeah. With Zarsa role, and yeah, I utilized when I was implementing it, like the hottest AWS implementation on AWS side is till on that date, right, to avoid the explicit credential propagation. Yeah, right. Cool. And in external DNS side, they are not recommended it. They relying on Ursa by default uh, nowadays, or what's the upstream recommendations? I mean, upstream
Yeah,
view, let's say.
there are docs for each provider, right? And for
Uh-huh. Yeah.
AWS, I think it's got slightly outdated. It still
Yeah.
has this IRSA controller, but yeah, nowadays there is a new thing. And on GCP, there is similar kind of controller that
Mm-hmm.
assigns out like rights to a service account based. Uh, but I haven't checked GCP yet, but it may be similar.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah. So we will be able to create the like this cross cloud hybrid cloud setups, right? So we'll be
Yeah.
able to run KGB on Azure, control the AWS, and whenever we implement the similar stuff on yeah, on Azure, whenever we finally did we merge this PR by the way? Not yet, right? So we didn't have the yeah, we
Like, that
didn't
would be a
finalize it.
killer feature, yeah, I
Yeah.
think. And only thing that all needs is to talk to a same edge DNS, right? I think
Yep.
it will be mostly Route 53 because it has a nice API. And if we allow to mount the secret to those various cloud providers, it might be as well dangerous because people can create records in DNS. But I think there is a not scope, but you can restrict the domain under which the records are created. So it's not like giving roots to someone, right, to delete your all stuff. But we can restrict or have a suggestion in documentation that do it only for this managed domain for k8gb.
Yeah, I think we have a domain filter in external DNS, right? That uh, I think is doing the similar stuff
I think so. Yeah.
for
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So even if the uh, credentials are not scoped anyhow, we have this stuff like additional safety net here.
Right. Yeah. This is for external DNS to monitor only those.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah. Or
it's a
not.
scope.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
But
that's it
Mhm.
generally.
But at the same time, if you provide a token or this the secret that has stronger permissions, it still can do it. Like there can be an attack vector when someone do like kubectl
Yeah.
exec to that pod and do some nasty
Ideally,
stuff.
it should be if you talk about AWS, it should be some tokens that associated with very limited time role that
Yes,
can
yes.
do only like Route 53 and presumably only like scope domain if it's feasible to express with IAM policies. Yeah, totally. But it's more on cloud provider side, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
we can recommend it, but we cannot control the secret configuration. So we are doing some as much as possible safety net on our side, right? From domain filtering standpoint. Yeah, great stuff. So I have some good news. I can add you to to the attendee list for today, so you don't bother with opening the document. So we, as a k8gb project, we are accepted for a country fest on KubeCon. So there we go. I mean, I'm currently the only speaker that is mentioned, but actually I also invited Nuno because he had a confidence that he will attend. So we'll be at least two of us, but definitely on a country fest, the more speakers, the better, right? So I did a one country fest with the guys from Crossplane last year in Amsterdam, and basically two folks were speaking. I was in a supporting group, one of like engineers helping these two contributors to get through the contribution flow, right? So my feelings, like, you know, good number of people for this kind of event is kind of 3-4. So we will be like actively interacting with an audience and answering as multiple questions in parallel as possible, while the new contributors are going through our amazing contribution flow, like, you know, getting stuck in a pipelines or similar, you know, this kind of stuff is unavoidable. So yeah, you mentioned that you are not attending. Is that correct?
Yeah, I know. I don't have tickets, and I'm going to force them in a week. So
yeah, I see. Yeah, so maybe next time. So we will try to execute it. But anyway, if you have any, like, you know, ideas for this country first, like explicit what you would like to expose as a maintainer on a country quest, any ideas are welcome, definitely, because currently I have a very kind of high level ones, that the ones that I contributed, right? So multi-cluster local setup, end-to-end framework, pipeline layout, and executing like a sample contribution flow. We can create, like, you know, imaginary or non-imaginary, but a relatively simple contribution task, right? And we'll go through the people together, right? It is always practical thing. So they are contributing new stuff. They're creating a local environment, all environment to enable them to contribute to the project, right? And then they're creating, like, you know, a sample PR that is delivering some simple future functionality, bug fix, whatever. But the goal here is to, again, execute the full contribution flow pretty much end to end. That's what we did with the Crossplane last year, and it was pretty cool. Like, you know, new eyes on the project. People were catching like interesting things with the test, like, you know, experimenting with the test flow right away. Somebody just out of curiosity ran a, like, you know, 1,000 parallel test for the unit tests that were always passing, and they were failing. So basically detecting a race condition. So, like, you know, it's an overall useful thing. So in our case, we have a quite amount of race conditions. No
close
shortage
system,
on
right?
them. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this kind of
Nice.
high level thing, how I see it. So if you have some targeted ideas, I don't know, it will be helpful. So we can create some plan around it.
And just a question, they are not
Yeah.
covering the tickets, right? If they this acceptance to this Contrib Fest doesn't mean that they are paying the entry for KubeCon, right?
Well, that's a good question. I think in this case, yes, but yeah. But the thing is, yeah, I need to double check from. So I got a speaker email, right? A very standard one, and I have a speaker token, meaning that I will get the registration for free. So maybe that's a good point. Like if you can arrange it, but yeah, I will ask around. That's a good question.
Because
Yeah,
that's
because
the main reason I'm not going, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
changed employer and I don't have sponsorship in cost for a ticket.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I mentioned during the application that there will be more speakers. The question is how generous they will be in regards of, or they can be in regards of country requests, right? I probably can them like 10 people to speak with me, and here, like, it's pretty vague, so I don't know how they treat it. But for at least one speaker, and maybe that's why they mentioned it only me, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, please ask. Like I'll
Yeah,
do
yeah,
if it's
yeah. Cool. Good point. I will. Nice. So yeah, that's for country quest. I think lightning talks are already packed in the agenda, so we are not making it. Yeah, for boost, I didn't apply for it because there was like explicit statement, proper boost availability should be provided, and we don't have it, right? So like there is nobody who would hang out, not enough people who would hang out, like, covering the enough time slots. And apparently organizers want to avoid the situation when like some projects were visibly abandoned, right? And like empty booths and this kind of stuff, if you remember our last conferences. So yeah, so I didn't apply for booths this time, and yeah, maybe someday when we have, like, good coincidence when everybody attending uh, uh, in a large group, like the k8gb maintainers, you will try to make it, but not this time. Yeah, so that's for country request. For our regular stuff, it's actually issues that is created by Eurogene. So long-standing thing, and I have a stable reproducer for each, right? So exactly, you're increasing like a parallel count, and it deterministically fails. Now it's in pipelines. It's not much more better than before. After we fixed most of the turret test stuff, I think all of them. I mean, I didn't see a turret test failure things then, only like super rarely, and it was like, global failure. Something was on apparently with the worker, but now mostly we are experiencing this kind of nasty build. It's pretty quick one, right? So I can just rerun it right away, and most probably it will become green while we are chatting. But yeah, it's still not perfect, right? So ideally, you need to track this down. My idea about this one is that something basically is with this local fake DNS server, right? That we are using the mock, the fake DNS mock.
Right.
Yeah, and something is like, is getting not ready when the tests are getting executed. I quickly checked it, but there was no obvious solution. Now we have some, like, channels there, so it requires investigation. Not super easy to understand, like, the whole flow after looking at uh, after not looking at it for a substantial amount of time. So we have a quite sophisticated test code base. That's impressive. So yeah, this one is for our new community member Tanush. He didn't attend today, so we'll transfer this question for the next meeting. But I think you reviewed it, right? So what do you think about it, like from a maintainer standpoint?
Yeah, I like the feature actually because people don't have to use ingress, right? But services are always there. And
yeah,
but I think I had a comment about it that it doesn't basically take care of that scenario if you provide both of them. Like there is no precedency rule, or like if you provide the rules in under ingress and also in server under service, I think there is one that will win, but is not documented anywhere.
no,
I suggest is to use this evaluation language because if we can have the validation on the CRD level, like not to allow to create those CRs that have both sections specified.
that's a great point. Yeah,
This cross-validation rule one.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, the CL rules are super cool. I'm using them mostly in crossplane work nowadays, like, for field immutability. For example, like, frequent case when you're building your custom abstraction and some of the field you want to make immutable. So CL allows you to do it, like, whenever it got a like update, if you can make a CL rule to reject the new updates to the field. So like in Visa message, like, it's immutable. So it's super helpful in general. Yeah, cool stuff. All right. So I think that's it for today. Thank you so much.
Maybe a question.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you going
Yeah.
to send a talk for KCD, the Czech one? Because it's gonna open the call for papers soon. I think it's happening in June in Prague this year. Like last year, it was in Bratislava.
Okay.
So
Please let me know.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you one of the organizers, or
Oh,
how's it?
I'm not, but I know the organizers, and well, slightly
Yeah.
on the same Slack, right? A
Yeah.
couple of them are from Reddit, and it was nice in last year.
Mhm.
I could have been there only for a couple of hours, but the vibe was like small KubeCon, right? But yeah, it's
Yeah,
for
that's
Czech
pretty
audience
cool.
only.
I don't think I will be able to deliver talk in Czech language, but
Oh, actually, yeah, no, it's the Czech is optional, but
yeah, okay.
it's allowed. Like I should
Yeah.
have said the Czech is allowed, but you
Uh-huh.
can switch to. I had a talk in English last year, so that's
Okay,
perfectly.
okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I passed the Czech citizenship language
Nice.
exam, but I will not make it to the top level, I guess. Yeah, so you mentioned your FOSDEM. Do you have a schedule?
Yes, yes. I can send the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, I promised a lot in in abstract, so now it's time to implementation. Let me find it. Oh, actually, I can find it on my Twitter. I will send it just like because I lost the
Yeah, okay,
window.
cool.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, the idea is to deploy two clusters using cluster API and then set up k8gb from scratch. And then, yeah, basically show load balancing. Yeah, it's mostly about like just talking about this fusion of those two technologies. When one of them is highly distributed, the k8gb, because we don't have any central, brain. There are like peer-to-peer clusters talking to one DNS server. And the other technology is highly centralized when you have management cluster and workload clusters, and show like how these two architectures can work together nicely. Because at the beginning, you need someone that will bootstrap the k8gb, right? And we always show that it's nice to use GitOps for it because you will have like state in our Git repo, right? But we don't control that everything is same, right? And things like that. But if you use something like Cluster API where you have this management cluster, you can still deploy those decentralized architectures, but at the same time have the benefit of like state being held on one place, right?
Yeah, that's super cool. That's a cool story. Great stuff, man. Good luck with the presentation. You're delivering in person, right?
Yes.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. I would love to attend, but I will have a business trip at that date. It's in early February, right?
Yeah. 2 and 4.
Yeah,
Yeah, 3 or 4.
I will be in the US. Yeah,
Ah, nice.
but I will watch recording. All right, so we up to the time. So thank you so much for attending, and I'll stop sharing and stop
Thanks.
recording. Yeah.